In the morning session, Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu stated that since CAATSA sanctions passed before Turkey, after Turkey signed the S-400 deal, that they would not apply to the deal. When we checked with informed members of the audience, they disagreed with Çavuşoğlu's approach. But it seems that the Turkish government still thinks that they will be able to acquire both the S-400s while also remaining within the F-35 project. Now, when we compare this with the comments by Vice President Pence in the afternoon, we see a stark difference. Pence was very unequivocal in warning Turkey that if Turkey completes the S-400 deal, then it risks being expelled from the joint F-35 project. So this is not just about the delivery of the jets, but this is more importantly about the role of 10 Turkish defense companies, which are part of the supply chain of the F-35 jets. But also I would like to emphasize that this is not just a US-Turkey issue. The first audience question to Turkish Foreign Minister came from a Polish military attaché, and she asked him whether there are any red lines in Turkey's defense cooperation with Russia. And I think that question shows that there are growing concerns among other NATO members about Turkey's deepening defense cooperation with Russia. And I think they also see this as a risk to their both national and collective security. We know that NATO works through unanimity, and hence Turkey is there to stay. But this doesn't mean that there is an erosion of trust between Turkey and other NATO allies. And if I think the Turkish government continues with the purchase of S-400s, it will, at least at the level of bilateral relations, at the level of trust-based relations, will erode Turkey's partnership with other NATO members. So we could maybe summarize this as Turkey would still remain a NATO member, but it would not have the same level and quality of defense cooperation with other members as it has used to have. I think it's less complacency and more a design issue, because over the course of the last 17 years, Turkey's Islamist-rooted Justice and Development Party have taken repeated steps, first to socially engineer a new Turkish society, and second, to pivot Turkey away from the transatlantic alliance and its values. So I see the current trend, which is of course a dangerous trend for the Turkish people as well as for NATO, as really the intention of Erdogan, because throughout his career, with the exception of his first few years in power, he has always been anti-Western. He has always been vocally against Western values, against the Western alliance system. So from his point of view, this could appear to be a win. But what is a win for Turkey's Islamists would be a huge loss, would be a huge risk for the Turkish citizens as well as for other members of the NATO.